Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we're talking about the series of the Western Conference Finals between the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. Now, first things first, put the teams on the wrong side. Whatever. Moving on. The Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers. Both these two teams have gone the distance against a couple teams in this playoffs, and one of them with a pretty impressive victory over a couple teams, and the other one with maybe not so impressive victories. But regardless, going into this series, the Dallas Stars being first in the Central Division, currently with an 8-5 record so far this playoffs, and going into this series with a 2-0-1 season series record against the Oilers. Now, like I say in all of my videos, I usually I hate looking at season series, right? Especially since it's like such a long season, right? Maybe there's like certain things to pinpoint, and I think between the Rangers and the Florida Panthers, there's something valid to look at out from their season series. But to me, the Dallas Stars and the Oilers, I don't think so, except their last game they played, which was in April, which is just last month, and it was a 5-0 win for the Dallas Stars, okay? So to me, that is a kind of telling story, because at that point, the Oilers are really playing strong hockey. I think at that point, the Kings and the Golden Knights, no, the Oilers are definitely still in a good spot. So the Oilers were in their good spot. The Dallas Stars were fighting for their lives to win number one in the Central Division, right? So there was a lot of war going on. And this was a big game between two big teams in the Western Conference. And to me, sure, maybe not all the chips were on the table at the time, but these two teams needed to win some games, and they knew that these two teams were going to be in the playoffs against each other. And for the Oilers, at that point, they lost that game 5-0, even though they are the superstar offensive team. The Oilers winning one game in overtime, and that was, I believe, in February. So I don't know how to think of that. So for me, the season series is a little bit telling, but not too much. The Dallas Stars going into the series, first round, they beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-3 in a very impressive series. The Avalanche, they destroyed them 4-2 in Game 6 just a couple days ago. For the Edmonton Oilers, they were the second team in the Pacific in the standings, 8-4 record so far, as they've lost 3 games last series and 1 in the first round, and are 1-2, of course, against the Dallas Stars, as I said. Now, they beat the LA Kings in the first round in a pretty easy fashion, and then the Vancouver Canucks last series 4-3 in a not-so-convincing fashion. Now, let's talk all about it. So this series, first off, anticipating it to be a highly offensively battling series, right? These two, especially for the Edmonton Oilers, right? I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here, but their key to victory in this series, bar none, is going to be winning in the offense battle, right? That is going to be their bread and butter if they win this series. And that is really all determining if they do win this series. If they don't bring the offense, they immediately lose, because that is their strong suit that will win them the Stanley Cup, right? It's not going to be their goaltending. It's not going to be their defense that wins them the Stanley Cup. It is going to be how they can overpower other teams with their supercharged offense top 6. So, and then against the Dallas Stars, same thing going for them. They got 4 lines that they can roll. Even the defense can chip in offensively. This is going to be a fun-to-watch, skilled series with a lot of fast-skating players. Just a lot of good offense and skill and speed I feel like we're going to see from this one. This might be the best series of the playoffs, because both these two teams have something big to prove. The Dallas Stars, second year in a row making to the conference finals, right? Last year looked like they could have done it and gone the whole way, but then they were stomped by the Stanley Cup champions, the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Edmonton Oilers, this is their series to win to finally make the finals for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Like, these are like with Ekholm in the background and Henrique being added to this team. Hyman's amazing, incredible season. Like, all the chips feel like they've lined up, and I hate that the freaking commentators won't stop mentioning this goddamn thing. But they've said that this year is going to be cup or bust for them, right? And it does feel like that, right? Leon Draisaitl's contract ends next season, and McDavid's, I think, is the year after that, or something like that. And, I mean, regardless of anything of when their contracts end, like, these guys want to win now. McDavid at this point is 27 years old. Like, this is their time to win, right? This is their time to win and finally get the job done. There's only so many years left until they're 30, and there's only so many years left until they're 35, and then their legs are finally go out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know 35 is a long ways away for Connor McDavid, but at the same time, That's as long as he's been in the NHL, too, right? So you don't want to waste all of this time, especially right now when Leon Draisaitl and McDavid are absolutely in the peaks of their careers. That this is when they want to win. This is when they can truly make a team and push them over the line. So they're going to be pushing on all cylinders, right? So the Edmonton Oilers, right? The biggest thing for them is that they offensively are absolutely incredible, right? Huge. I would definitely give them the edge in the offensive battle, right? Especially with McDavid and Draisaitl, both 21, 23 points. Hyman having 11 goals this playoff so far. Just huge numbers for their top guys. Nugent Hopkins has been playing great. Guys like Evander Kane down the line, like have had some good games. Maybe not the most in production, but just is a relevant player always on the ice. Like, definitely give them the slight edge in offense, but slight, right? Maybe if it's just like a little bit of a notch just because of the superstars that they can bat on the field. But the thing about it is the Oilers have a huge defense and goaltending problem, right? And I don't know what the hell I was wrong with most people, but for the last 2 years now, I've been saying Stuart Skinner is not the goaltender. He is not a goalie that can really push them over the line. And somehow he became a NHL All-Star one year. I don't know what the hell is wrong with everybody, but Stuart Skinner is not the goaltender, right? The defense has not been that amazing, right? Evan Bouchard can put up huge numbers when he's out on the ice with a couple of other guys that can really put a bunch of points in the back of the net. Ekholm has been a huge player, has gotten a couple of good goals in the series against the Vancouver Canucks. But my biggest thing is that all 3 losses to the Vancouver Canucks last series were from comeback wins. The Oilers' offense is always not the issue, right? Never's been the issue for the Oilers. They can score when they need it. The issue is that sometimes they can only score so many times until their team gives out with the defense, right? This team lost their lead 3 times against the Vancouver Canucks, who have had their own scoring problems, with their third line having to be the team that comes alive and their top guys kind of being quieter than you would hope so. And for me, it's just these very telling moments, especially in Game 7, where Game 7, they didn't play their best. McDavid didn't get anything on the board. He was somewhat invisible last game. And at the same time, the team's leading 3-0, like they don't need to play their best game. And in the final 10 minutes of that game against the Vancouver Canucks, they literally almost kissed that lead goodbye. With only 10 minutes after playing a super solid game, giving nothing, no inch to the Vancouver Canucks. And the Canucks that close to coming back. Literally that close. They almost blew it in Game 7. That is how irrelevant their defense and goaltending is when it comes to being clutch and shutting down other teams. Where on the other side of everything, the Dallas Stars have such good coverage. They have Miro Heiskanen, who has been the best defensive player of this whole playoffs. He's getting points on the board as he leads Dallas in points. He can get goals. Then you have Lindell. You have Tanev. You have Suter, right? You have Harley. All these players who have been huge, good defensive players, including the defense that's coming from up front, where the defense of the two-way game of guys like Rupe Hintz and Wyatt Johnston has been such a menace when it comes to the two-way play, right? Guys like Jamie Benn even, there's the Dallas players are very good both ways of the ice. They play a good structure with Peter DeBoer, and they really do a good job of shutting down the other team. And the huge scary thing for me is that you can go in the comments and be like, no, like people for the Rangers right now are like, you don't understand, the Rangers, they break through. And it's like, no. The Oilers, as good as their offense is, right? The Dallas Stars with 5 guys on the ice, all they need to do is shut down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard and Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. They did that to Cale Makar for 3 games straight, where Cale Makar looked hopeless. Nathan MacKinnon tried his hardest to get anything going, couldn't. Then you have Mikko Rantanen, who just really didn't look that impressive the whole series. He was getting points, but it was the type of thing where his without the puck and with the puck, he wasn't that super incredible. Like, they shut down Nathan MacKinnon and Lehkonen. They shut down Middlestat. They slowed these boys down the Avalanche. And now they're going up against a team with less depth. When the Edmonton Oilers, they've got to run at least 15 minutes of a game of allowing not the top 6 playing out there. They've got to put out the third and fourth line, right? with the third and fourth line on the ice, you don't think that they're going to match them with putting out like Marchment, Sagan, and Stankoven and Johnston and Robertson, who are going to outskill completely and destroy the defense and goaltending of the Oilers. I see that going down every which way. The grittiness is going to go the Edmonton Oilers' way. I mean, the Dallas Stars' way. Like, the grit of guys like Marchment on the ice is going to pound. Ben is going... You don't think Jamie Ben's going to be headhunting and playing like Sam Bennett against Connor McDavid? Sure, it's not good, but you don't think that they're going to look to take down every player of the Edmonton Oilers? If they can just take out, like, McDavid for a period, right? They can knock him out and keep him off the play. Ben is going to destroy them. I know it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're talking about just like injure... No, I'm not saying just injure the players, but rough them up. You don't think Jamie Benn can just give a big hit, and then if he misses Lindell, give a big hit to McDavid, wind him for that shift, and he's out for the next like shift or two, and he's not completely himself? That is all you need to win, to knock out this team. The Edmonton Oilers defense and goaltending, it has been shown the last few years that you need to have every piece of the puzzle to win the Stanley Cup. That's defense, offense, and goaltending. For the last, 5-6 years, that has been the case, truthfully. Even if you go back, I would say 10 years. But truthfully, the last, where this era of hockey, where it's more goal scoring and a lot more clutch play, good goaltending, great defense, the last, 5-6 years has been truly the best team with all the stats down to win the Stanley Cup. The Edmonton Oilers, and would anyone, and you would be nuts to say otherwise. You can be some idiot like Ryan Whitney or something and go out there and say something like, I think Stu Skinner is going to bounce back, or something like that. Not going to happen. They do not have the goaltending where Jake Ottinger exists, where the defense of Tanev and Suter and Heiskanen and Lindell and Harley exists. The two-way play of Hintz and Johnston exists. The fight and the energy, the depth, everything goes the Dallas Stars' way. The Edmonton Oilers, the only way they win this series is by truly overpowering the defense of the Dallas Stars in 4 wins, and I don't see that happening. The Dallas Stars can equally punish any team. They did it to the Avalanche. They've done it to... They survived the Vegas Golden Knights of all teams. This is going to be the Dallas Stars' year, and this is going to be the year where they break through the Western Conference Final and make it to the finals, since the last time they did it, where they lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Dallas Stars are going to win this series, and that is why, for me, I think this series is going to go Dallas, and I'm going to say Dallas in 6. I think both the finals, the conference finals, are going to go the distance to 6, but I don't think it goes 7. I think Jake Ottinger's going... I think the Edmonton Oilers are hugely good. So impressive. Connor McDavid, in my eyes, easily the best player in the world. But the issue is that the padding and the better team for the playoffs in the Avalanche lost to the Dallas Stars. The Oilers have looked not that super impressive against the LA Kings, a team that we know they own at this point, and the Kings didn't really feel like they should have been in the playoffs. So the Oilers get an easy win against the Kings. The Vancouver Canucks, they were a little stumbly against a lot of times through that series, and now I feel like this is the first competition they're truly having to play against. The truest of competition. Sure, the Edmonton Oilers, great team. Definitely in the top half of the better teams in this playoffs. I would have said they'd beaten at least half this. They would have beat the Kings, then the Predators. They beat the Canucks. I would say they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Capitals, the Islanders. I don't know if I already said that. I think this team could have even beat the Hurricanes. But I don't think against the true depth and all-around play of the defense, the goaltending, everything going together, who the teams that the Dallas Stars have beaten, look at the accomplishments. The Golden Knights and the Avalanche, the last 2 Stanley Cup champions. The Oilers beat the LA Kings, who were not that impressive and should not have been in the playoffs. Well, should have been in the playoffs, but not a true playoff contender. And the Vancouver Canucks, who seemed fugazi from the beginning, and they were very rough against them. To me, the Edmonton Oilers are going to put on a very fun show, but these are going to be some good high-scoring games. But I see this being like games where Zach Hyman, all they got to do is shut down the play of Zach Hyman. And which you saw the goals that he's been scoring against the Vancouver Canucks were not the most impressive goals in the world. You don't think that the Dallas Stars are going to shut that down? I believe so. So that is my opinion. I think the Dallas Stars are going to win this series in 6. I think the Oilers are so close to putting together a true Stanley Cup defending team, but the depth, you got to be able to field a full 60 minutes, right? The Dallas Stars can play 60 minutes plus that against the Avalanche. The Avalanche. There we go. The Edmonton Oilers can't. They put their third and fourth line out there. They put their third string defense. It isn't going to win them the Stanley Cup. Pickard, Stu Skinner are not going to win them the Stanley Cup, and they are not going to get past this series. So, to me, that's my prediction. I think the best player of this series, I'm going to predict this too. I think the best player of this series is going to be Jake Ottinger because of the defense, the goaltending that he's going to have to put on display in this series to save them sometimes is going to be huge. But I think Miro Heiskanen and Rupe Hintz are going to be the big guys this series. Johnston's my favorite Dallas Star, but I think some other guys are going to be stepping up to the plate for this one. But that is all I got to say. So, thank you for watching this and made it far. Please, I am begging you, please subscribe, please. Anyways, too sweet. Have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.